Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Hannah makes Dex an offer that would keep him in Port Charles, and Sam lashes out at Jason for endangering Danny. Today on General Hospital, Molly and Christina disagree over Jason. Jason receives visits from Diane and Brooklyn, and Jake and Danny come to blows over their father. Please note that if you purchase something by clicking on a link within this story, we may receive a small commission of the sale. In the PCPD interrogation room, Sam shows up to see Jason. She asks if he shot Dante, and he tells her no. She believes him, but Jason says there is something else. It's about Danny. Jason explains that he hid out at the boathouse after he was shot, and Danny found him and helped him. Sam wonders why Danny didn't tell her this. Jason says he told Danny not to. Sam is furious, saying she has raised Danny most of his life on her own, and he doesn't get to just come out of the sky and be a father, and how dare he tell their son to lie to her. Sam yells that Jason is a fugitive and Danny could be brought up on federal charges for helping him. She screams at him to say something. "Tell me you know I'm right." Jason admits she is right. Sam calls him a danger to their son and orders him to stay away from Danny. Diane enters after Sam leaves and asks is there anything he can give her to show that he didn't shoot Dante. Jason replies, "I can't." Diane warns him that if Dante dies, it's murder one, and that is as bad as it gets. He will spend the rest of his life in prison. She says he is her favorite client, difficult, but she'd hate to see him put away for something he didn't do. She says he has her number if he can think of anything she can use to help him. Brooklyn is the next to visit Jason, and he asks why she's here. Brooklyn explains Monica asked her to come and to give him this. She gives him an envelope. Jason asks if Monica is sick or hurt. Brooklyn explains she took a fall on the icy driveway during the holidays and then picked up a bug at the hospital, and she's been told not to push herself, so she won't be at the arraignment. Jason opens the letter. It says, "I believe in you, love Mom." Brooklyn is told she has to vacate as the arraignment is about to start. Brooklyn wishes Jason luck. With tears in his eyes, he asks Brooklyn to tell Monica that he loves her and is sorry. In Anna's office, she talks with Portia over the phone about Dante. There is no change. Dex arrives to see Anna, and he assumes this is about pursuing a case against Sonny. He is ready to do anything to help. Anna asks, even if it costs you your life. Anna says Sonny would know he was going to testify before he even took the stand. Anna says she doesn't want him testifying. Dex asks what he's doing here then. Anna has a way to ensure his safety if he works for her at the PCPD. Dex is stunned by Anna's suggestion as he has been working inside Sonny's organization and almost murdered an old man on Sonny's orders. Anna knows, and she felt like her own past disqualified her from this position initially when Laura offered it to her, but the best cops learn from their own wrongs, and his past works as a bonus for this job. Dex reminds her that he's ex-military and is still standing, but Anna says he's come to the station twice in the past few days, and Sonny may already suspect him. Anna believes the PCPD could offer him some cover, especially if he wants to stay in town. He says he'll think about it. As he goes to leave, she tells him time isn't on his side, so don't think too long. Anna steps out and returns with coffee. She's surprised to find Robert in her office. He says he came to confess that he's a coward. Robert says normally it would be up to him to argue at Jason's arraignment, but he is letting Molly do it. Anna says, "So you don't look dirty in Robin's eyes?" He confirms it. Anna supports him taking the option out and wishes she didn't have to investigate Jason either. At the Quatermain boathouse, Jake finds Danny looking for something. Jake explains he and Aiden are here because their mom thought they should all be together because of the arraignment, which should be over pretty quickly when people see Jason shot Dante. Danny asks if he hasn't considered their dad is innocent. Jake says of course he's guilty. He took off, let them believe he was dead, and then came back and shot Dante. Aiden shows up as Jake and Danny continue to argue, and he asks them not to fight. Jake thinks Danny doesn't care about Dante and Rocco, and asks why isn't he mad at Dad. Danny asks why he's not giving their dad the benefit of the doubt. Jake says he doesn't deserve it, and Danny slugs him. Jake fights back, and Aiden gets between them. Jake says he can't do this, and runs off. Aiden apologizes to Danny and chases after his brother. Anna Devane paced back and forth in her office at the WSB headquarters, her mind consumed with a plan that could change the course of events in Port Charles. She had always been a woman of action, a strategist with a knack for turning the tide in her favor. But this time the stakes were higher than ever. Her thoughts were interrupted by a knock on the door. Without waiting for a response, Dex Marshall, a trusted agent, entered the room. His expression was serious, reflecting the gravity of the situation they were facing. "Anna, what's going on?" Dex asked, sensing the tension in the air. Anna motioned for him to take a seat before she began to speak. "Dex, I've been thinking about our situation in Port Charles. The city is in turmoil, and we need someone on the inside, someone we can trust implicitly." Dex nodded, understanding the urgency of the matter. "Who do you have in mind?" Anna paused for a moment before answering. "You, Dex. I want you to go undercover in Port Charles, infiltrate the criminal underworld, and gather as much intel as you can. We need to take down these threats before they cause any more harm." Dex's eyes widened in surprise. He had never expected such a proposition, but he knew better than to question Anna's judgment. "I'll do it," he said firmly. "But what about my cover? I can't just disappear from my life without raising suspicion." Anna smiled, a glimmer of satisfaction in her eyes. "That's where I come in. I have a plan that will keep you in Port Charles without arousing any suspicion. It's risky, but if it works, it could be our best chance at taking down the enemy." Dex leaned forward, eager to hear Anna's proposal. She outlined her plan in detail, explaining how they would create a false identity for Dex and establish him as a legitimate businessman in Port Charles. It would require meticulous planning and careful execution, but Anna was confident that they could pull it off. As Dex listened to Anna's plan, he felt a surge of excitement coursing through him. This was the opportunity he had been waiting for, a chance to make a real difference in the fight against crime. Without hesitation, he agreed to Anna's proposal, ready to embark on this dangerous mission. Meanwhile, across town, tensions were running high at the Morgan residence. Sam McCall paced the living room, her mind racing with anger and frustration. She couldn't believe what Jason had done, putting their son Danny in danger once again. When Jason walked through the door, Sam's fury reached its peak. "How could you do this, Jason?" she demanded, her voice trembling with emotion. "You promised me that you would keep Danny safe, and yet you put him in harm's way without a second thought." Jason sighed heavily, knowing that he had made a grave mistake. "I was trying to protect him, Sam," he said, his tone tinged with regret. "I thought I could handle the situation, but I was wrong." Sam shook her head in disbelief, her eyes blazing with anger. "That's not good enough, Jason. Danny deserves better than this. He deserves a father who puts his safety above everything else." Guilt washed over Jason as he realized the extent of his actions. He had always prided himself on being a protector, but in his attempt to keep his loved ones safe, he had only succeeded in putting them in even greater danger. "I'm sorry, Sam," Jason said, his voice filled with remorse. "I'll do whatever it takes to make this right, I promise." But Sam was in no mood to hear his apologies. With a heavy heart, she turned away from him, her trust in him shattered by his reckless actions. Deep down, she knew that their relationship would never be the same again. As Jason watched Sam walk away, he knew that he had a long road ahead of him to earn back her trust. But he was determined to do whatever it took to make amends and keep his family safe, no matter the cost. And so, in the heart of Port Charles, alliances were formed and broken, secrets were revealed, and the battle between good and evil raged on. But amidst the chaos and turmoil, one thing remained certain: in the end, love would always prevail.